These are violent criminals, so they're not going to go down easy.
ABC Tuesdays.
Let's get this done.
The Rookie is back.
We have 2 new rookies starting today.
Howdy.
Being a cop is stressful 24/7. Every year on the job is different.
And Training Day
We have a serial killer at large.
never ends.
We need an ambulance!
The Rookie. All new Tuesdays on ABC and stream on Hulu.
Good evening, and welcome to the Night Owl. It's good to have you back. This year is winding down pretty quickly, but still got some good stories for you to keep you up at night. Got to finish out the year on the good foot, yeah? Content may contain adult language and scenarios that may not always be suitable for all audience members, so listeners' discretion is always advised. There's nothing like a good haircut. How you feel, how you look, how you walk down the street. It says a lot. And of course, it takes a lot of practice to perfect a haircut like that. Lock your doors, check your windows, and get comfortable, because you won't be sleeping tonight. I give you fresh cut. Your relationship with your barber or hairstylist is kind of like a marriage. Seriously, ask anyone. Some people have had the same barber or stylist since they were kids. I know I have. You guys grow together, and the next thing you know, years have passed. People have more vulnerable conversations with the person doing their hair than their own significant other. I don't know. It's something about sitting in that chair and trusting someone with sharp weapons around your primary arteries that just opens the floodgates of communication. Growing up, they called it shop talk. There was always some heated debate happening, sometimes about sports, other times cautionary tales about relationships, but every time you walked into your shop, there was some new information you picked up or left off. Some stylists, they love to spill the tea on their other clients. Messy divorce, shitty children, family secrets, the good stuff, and they don't hold back. But I moved, and all of that changed for me. I had to start over in a new town, all alone. Relationships are hard, and dating after a long-term commitment isn't the easiest. But I also need my haircut. So I had to get back out there. I shopped around, a couple first dates, but nothing ever stuck. Some seemed promising, but yeah, the chemistry just wasn't there. And yes, I'm still talking about barbers. Look, you can't just trust anyone with your hair. When you walk out into the world, your haircut determines how you feel and how others feel about you. There are some tales about your hair being connected to your past and energy, etc. So you need the right person that knows what they're doing, so they can cut the right amount of past off. I was getting discouraged and losing hope that I'd actually find a decent barber out here. Until finally, I came upon this shop in town. Small spot, 3 chairs inside and enough room for a couple of people to sit and wait. It was getting late, so I could see inside from a distance. Looked like it could have been an old diner or something at one point. So I just walked in and waited. Hello? Nothing. The sign said open though, and well, I'm here, and I waited. And then someone finally came in. I'm sorry for keeping you waiting, man. I waved it off as he welcomed me to sit down. He was a young guy, probably around my age, a couple of years older. The vibe was weird, but man, that was probably the best cut I received being out here. Safe to say I became a regular. Little Shop of Horrors is what I called it. I never said it out loud, but it reminded me of it. He was cool. The first weeks it took a while to open up and trust because, I've been hurt before. But the icebreakers helped. He asked about my family. We talked war stories of life and just joked around. He mentioned his favorite things to watch were the news and crime documentaries. Cold cases, he said. I mean, I like horror, but that was a whole different ballgame. He apparently idolized a couple of the big names, too. You're not a killer, are you? Those blades are kind of sharp. He just chuckled and carried on. The rest of that cut was quiet. I would get my hair cut every 2 weeks, but 2 weeks had passed and no sign. A couple more passed and nothing. I went by the place and it was a ghost town. Yeah, like a thief in the night. Sucks because I was actually getting to like him. This time around, I had an actual date, and they suggested we meet at a local bar, so I said, cool. It's a town pub, more like it. So we met up, and we got to chatting. I like the haircut, she said. Thanks. I tried a new spot. My other guy just vanished. And the fucking timing. The news came on. Police have found the suspect in question of 8 missing persons. He calls himself Mr. Sweeney. I looked up, and there he was. My barber. He wasn't kidding. So there you have it. Tune in next week for another story to keep you up at night. And if you'd like to keep up with the podcast, head on over to iTunes, where you can subscribe, comment, and leave a review. It goes a long way. You could also stay up to date with us on Twitter at the Bird Brain Podcast and Instagram at the Bird Brain Podcast. You can support the podcast by heading on over to Patreon. There's a bunch of tiers, a bunch of perks involved too. And if you want to get some cool merch, head on over to the Bird Brain store. Link is in the bio. All right, guys. Have a good weekend. Sleep tight.